Sleep deprived podcast. Let's go.
Oh no,
Okay,
I'm not
so
sleep deprived. I'm full.
Okay, I will come in with the Trinity G Marsh to do the intro briefly.
Come, he says. Rain 2020.
Stop it!
I was trying to. I wasn't going to say anything.
I will come in.
I need that clip.
You come in. Oh, jeez, it gets worse.
I will come in with the Trinity G Marsh. Shut up, Kuchiri. You're making it worse. Before we get started for this week's podcast, I just wanted to pay tribute to Jean Marsh, late Jean Marsh, who, of course, was a companion in the first Doctor era in an episode that's supposed to be wiped out of time now. And she was also of course, Morgana, the villain Morgana, in Battlefield. Very underrated McCoy episode, that. Still holds up to this day. Terrific actress, was also in The Eagles Landed, was also in The Pale Horse. Just a lot of film and TV roles, and she'll be sadly missed. And now it's time to actually introduce the actual podcast. So, this week's episode is Lux. Oh my god, is it Lux? And
this is a weird version of League of Legends.
Oh god. Demacia!
I mean, it could be worse. It's certainly not the worst acronym involving the letters L and X. Oh god, I have horror.
Yeah, but in order to talk about this episode, I need some people to talk about it with me, and thankfully I have three of them right here. So, without further ado, they are the cartoon heroes. They are the ones who are going to last forever. They came out of a crazy mind and walked out on a piece of paper. It's Conker Usurper, better known as Cat, Kuchiri, and our special guest this week, Mr. Sean Dillon.
Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. Hello, my ragtime cat. Summertime gal. Send me a kiss by wah. Baby, my heart's on fire. If you refuse me, honey, you'll lose me. Then you'll be left alone. No, baby, telephone and tell me I'm your own.
Did we need to do all that? You could have just probably done like 4.
Kuchiri, that's why I changed it up. Is that why I changed it up?
We needed all of it.
Oh, we're keeping all that in. All of that in. So yeah, Lux, cartoons, amazing.
Alan Cumming, the best host of the Traitors.
Alan Cumming, star of Cabaret and previous Doctor Who actor, notable for being in of course, the Air Zone Solution.
Alan Cumming, guest star of Avengers Doomsday, upcoming in a year or two.
Oh boy.
I mean, he was good at X2.
Cumming, with a very unfortunate name.
Not a stage name, either.
I mean, he is a gay actor, so it very well might be a very fortunate name.
He was born, I believe, Alan Cumming. He wasn't like a stage name he took. Because let's face it, who would actually name themselves Alan Cumming as an actor? Anyway.
A lot of people.
Drag queens.
That's true, yeah. And we get Mr. Cumming. Oh my god.
Rising!
There's going to be a lot of bad phrasing in this podcast.
Cat's just gearing up the new soundboard with a bunch of fresh new
Sometimes, folks, you quit when you're behind. So
new and improved.
So, yeah, speaking of this actor, we get him straight away because he's a major part of the cold open.
Oh,
in cinema.
I love it so much.
Yeah.
Why isn't an American theater playing a BBC like war reel?
Because they did.
Sometimes you just have to deal with the budget. Doctor Who has always had a low budget, even when it's owned by Disney.
It's also historically accurate. They did have BBC bulletins in American cinemas in 1952.
Probably because we have terrible news channels here, and the BBC is actually accurate. Boom.
It was more the BBC did world broadcasting, whereas the American channels did American broadcasting for a long time.
Rain, let me have my joke, because seriously, we have such bad news channels here.
You do.
On the other hand, England doesn't have that much better nowadays.
I was going to say we're not much better, but I know that Cat's telling the truth because you know what we can get on UK TV now? Newsmax.
Ah.
Yeah. Because we certainly needed that in the UK, didn't we? Also, Fresno can't make it here because they're attending a turkey dinner for Easter or something, but they are deliriously happy with the way this episode begins.
Man, this Doctor Who and their woke agenda, completely forgetting about Easter. How dare they?
And completely forgetting about how reflections work, because Moonlight doesn't reflect off metal. But
I mean,
no, see, it's magic Moonlight. It's fine.
Oh, I'm fine with it.
It is mirrored, so I guess you have to press the button, Cat.
Doctor Who Mirror Alert. Doctor Who Mirror Alert.
Number one, there'll be more.
So much
There
more.
will be more. But no, this is a great
Dillon,
cold
though.
open. We get our villain
love
straight
it.
away. Mr. Ring-a-Ding. At this point, we just know him as Mr. Ring-a-Ding. He starts insulting the audience of his own movie.
Which was actually a thing that a lot of cartoons did at the time. It feels very much like something you'd see at a Winsor McKay cartoon. Like one famous one involved him actually presenting it and then walking into the cartoon.
That's cool.
But more seriously, though, this is set in 1952, which, given some of the things that this episode does, is roughly 1 year before one of the greatest cartoons ever made, Duck Amuck. Duck Amuck, for those of you who aren't familiar with the Looney Tunes lore, but frankly it's one of the most famous ones, is the one where Daffy Duck fights the cartoonist and loses.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes, I remember this one.
It's a
Oh,
classic.
it's so good.
Yeah. Though the styling of Mr. Ring-a-Ding, while absolutely delightful, is more in tune with the stylings of earlier cartoon eras than the 1950s. Like you'd probably see him in Max Fleischer or Albert Eric's cartoon. Though I know, and I'm probably gonna get a lot of flack with this one, there is what has been derided in the right-wing circles as Cal Art style, wherein the face sort of looks like a bean.
Ugh, the CalArts thing.
Yep.
Why was that a
Absolutely
thing?
bullshit.
Because
But,
people
Someone
suck.
gonna
there's
have
a lot
to
of
explain this
invocations
to
of
me because I don't know what we're talking about.
there's a lot of invocations with the history of cartooning, but we'll get to that because, oh God, there is a big one at the end.
Mm-hmm. There is.
I mean, there's a literal giant cartoon at the end,
That's what we're referring to, but
but
Among other things.
yeah. But it's not all cartoons, and I do like this little scene towards the beginning where the Doctor introduces Belinda to the concept of outfits.
It's
Oh my
the
gosh, I
same
love
exact shot from the Beatles episode.
Yeah?
There's actually
better.
a lot. There's a lot of mirrors between this episode and the Beatles episode.
Oh, Fred's going to be happy.
Yeah. Even down to Lux introduces themselves the same way Maestro does. Ta-da!
Yeah.
Don't
Like,
make
don't get me wrong,
laugh.
I love Maestro. I like this one better just because it actually did the concept better. If I get a Beatles episode, I want it to be about the Beatles, damn it.
The
Yeah.
gods of chaos have all been terrific.
Yeah, honestly, yeah. The gods themselves have been absolutely charming. Sutek was.
Yeah, all right. But
I mean,
Your
like
mileage may vary.
Sutek I stress Sutek in Empire of Death because you get why Gabriel. How am I blanking on his last name?
Gabriel Wolf.
Gabriel Wolf. Thank you. I was gonna say Burn for some reason. Anyway, Gabriel Wolf was brought back because he's amazing and he also plays the devil in the Satan pit. But Sutek's execution in the Empire of Death was very much a bit wanting. Though, speaking of the Empire of Death in this episode, spoons seem to be the major coming back point. So you've had spoons come up with, I think there was a spoon in The Giggle. There was a spoon in the Beatles episode. There was a spoon as a major plot point in Empire of Death. And now the spoon is the cause of God coming to Earth. Which, honestly, if there is a Doctor who has played the spoons and has fought gods using the spoons.
Yeah.
Spoons, the true evil. Quick, everybody, go to your silverware drawers. Get rid of all your spoons.
Close enough. Welcome back to Professor McCoy. But
Fres is going to listen to this and be like, "Excuse me, are you assuming that Sylvester McCoy is evil?"
No, it's a joke. Oh, for God's sake.
I mean, the Seventh Doctor does do some morally questionable things. He did kill Ace's boyfriend.
Yes.
Sean, I'd be really careful because they will come after you.
Sean doesn't care. Sean has tortured Fresno for the past year and a half with the straight story.
No, that was 4
Can you give me
years.
some tips? I need some
Oh,
tips.
yeah.
I've been torturing Fresno since 2020.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah,
I
again,
applaud you.
Fresno hasn't again, it was in the DMs this whole time. Fresno never checked.
Nice. So we're just going to give a few seconds to pick up a notepad here and a pen, and then we're going to talk about what could have been an unfortunate element of the episode, but actually, I think for the most part, it's handled pretty well. We're in 1952, which means segregation.
Yeah, and it's up to us, 4 very white people, to talk about.
God help us all.
We cannot help the colour of our skin, Cat.
Yeah.
But I like the fact that
well.
it's yeah, they did handle it well. I like the fact that it wasn't like Rosa.
It's
fact,
like 20 times better than Rosa.
I think that was the
God, yeah.
intended point for Daisy Piece. He talks about this a bit in one of the behind-the-scenes videos for the episode. He didn't want... so the Doctor has to deal with racism every single time he goes into the past to be the keynote for the Doctor.
No. I think it's more they want to show they could tackle him going to the past with how racist the past was. They didn't want to just have him be in the past and, oh, he's the Doctor, he's able to do this.
Instead of having the episode be, and then they have to sit down and let Rosa Parks get arrested.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like they acknowledge that racism is still a thing and segregation is still a thing, but there are still the good people out there who are willing to actually talk to them and be like, I know that technically it's illegal for you to be here, but I don't care. I'm willing to break the rules for you.
Well, yeah, the guy that died just did not care. He immediately served them.
To be fair, I think that's also a bit of intersectionality, given that he is very, very gay.
True.
That's a good assumption there.
Yeah, true, but you know what I say about assumptions? They make an ass out of you and umptions.
Yeah, but it's like, even like the guy's mother was like, hey, I want to sit down and I want to talk to these people at the same booth. Do you care? Can we break the rules this one time? And even then he's like, I don't care. There's nobody here. Let's do this.
Yeah.
That's,
and that scene. Yeah. That scene later on where the mother turns on them, and obviously it's all part of Lux's tricks.
Oh, yeah.
That I bit on that. So why is she suddenly taking? Oh, wait a second, it's not her, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was genuinely heartbreaking until you realize, wait, they're still in there, aren't they?
Yeah, for a second I thought, wait, was she never actually the mother and this was just like a trap to catch out people of colour? That's really dark, Davis. Oh, thank God it's not that.
Yeah. But it's like they touch on it without, like putting it blatantly out there, but without hiding it, essentially. It's there. It's obvious. It is treated as an obstacle, but they are able to overcome it in ways that make sense.
Yeah, they didn't dwell on it too much, which was good.
Yeah, and Davies, I mean, if Davies was going to do that move, I think he'd make it the entire episode rather than a subplot in the episode with the cartoon man.
That's true.
The cartoon man with a penis nickname is Mr. Ring-a-Ding.
I knew someone was going to bring that up. I also knew it would be Sean.
Mr. One-Eyed Snake.
Cats!
Well, he's just a little porker.
Kuchiri! But
I mean, it could be worse. He could have come out of like a glory hole or something.
Yes. Another character that does not segregate the Doctor or doesn't care about segregation is the projectionist, Reginald Pye.
Aww.
And I feel so sorry for this guy.
Yep. Very much a character who has, he made a deal with the devil, to be with the woman he loves.
Played by Linus Roach of Law and Order fame. Apparently, that's why the police officer was a New York police officer. It was a subtle nod to that show.
So, Doctor Who meets Mr. Ring-a-Ding.
Oh, do we ever meet Mr. Ring-a-Ding? I also want to touch on Reginald a bit more. He's a very tragic character. I don't think he's a bad guy. As you say, he makes a deal with the devil because he wants to get back with the one he loved and lost. Mm-hmm. He does make amends. He absolutely could have. Sorry, Sean.
No, you first.
No. He does choose to sacrifice himself. He could have absolutely escaped that cinema, but chooses not to.
Yeah, it's very heartbreaking to see him die by the hands of cinema. And though there is a joke to be made if this was set in one of the reasons why it's set in America and not in England is because then one of the film cancers he burned would have been an episode of The Highlanders.
Yeah, people joke that that scene was the BBC getting rid of all their old stock of Doctor Who reels.
Yeah, I was going to say
probably if one of them was an episode of The Power of the Daleks, he is the greatest villain in the history of Doctor Who.
Of course, it could have also been an episode of, in which case he would have been the greatest hero to ever exist.
Wait, which episode?
That one, the racist one.
I
know that doesn't narrow it down, but
Celestial
the one that we don't talk about.
No, the one with claws of a bird.
That one.
Yeah, that one.
Though it would be plausible for him to have burned Celestial Toymaker in that one, which again would be extremely apt given who the baddie is.
Absolutely, yes.
Really funny.
And let's talk about that baddie right now because my God, what a performance! And he's not even on the screen, folks. The actor is never on the screen. Best voice performance is what? Doctor's wife?
I mean, to get past Doctor's wife, you don't really have to deal with the uncomfortable implications of the Doctor's wife nowadays.
True, but I'm just talking about the vocal performance.
Satan Pit?
What, you think that's better than the House?
Gabriel, I think Gabriel Wolf is.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. Yeah. And then again with Sutek, although that did have its problems.
Yeah. Okay. I'm trying to think of other vocal performances.
Not his fault. But I mean, I love Gus, but this is better than Gus.
Yeah, this is better than Gus. Would it count for Nick Briggs?
I think possibly. And anyway, yeah. So this is our villain, and he literally comes off the screen, like literally the first 2 minutes. This is such a wild idea, and I love it.
It's also a really good this shot too of him coming out of the.
Oh, the effects are incredible throughout this.
Yeah, apparently the animators who worked on this also worked on Who Framed Roger Rabbit, which
I can see it.
Yeah, I can see it. They knew what they were doing.
Disney money well spent, and also kind of a sort of dig at AI because not a single thing of this episode was AI generated.
Good.
Yep.
Look what happens when people put time and effort and money into something original and creative, and look what we got.
We've got to stop spending money on people. We got to spend money on soulless artifacts of Hayao Miyazaki ripoffs.
So this episode took the longest for them to make too. I mean, if you look at the Unleashed, they were filming, they finished filming and it took them months to finish the animation, like into late last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that isn't a bad thing because that shows that it's a labor of love. Like, I don't want quick animation. I don't want that. I want it to be lovingly made.
just look how long it takes them to make a Wallace and Gromit film.
Yeah, I'd rather have something done late than done poorly.
Yeah, it's the same thing with video games. I am willing to wait as long as it takes for the video game to be perfectly made. Well, not perfectly made, obviously, because nothing's ever perfect, but to be made to the quality that it can be done, than have something be put out early and it be a buggy piece of shit that doesn't work.
Okay, Shigeru Miyamoto.
Or for that matter, a video game. I'd rather have a video game come out months later than have everyone work 50-hour shifts.
That we're in agreement with, yes.
Yeah.
And of course, this is all better than having the camera zoom in during a still shot from a Tarkovsky or Lynch film.
Oh, Fresno's having a conniption fit right about now when they play this back.
I can learn so much from you.
Sure, I think you got a disciple.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of. Honestly, I have a clever remark about that. Just yes. Good.
Yeah, let's just move on from that. That's great. My first behind the scenes moment that really made me laugh when Belinda and the Doctor are acting to Mr. Ring-a-Ding. It's a green stick.
For some shots, they have two. They have the green stick, and then there's the acrylic stand.
Yeah. And also, while we talk about this, but you're right. Probably my new favorite green screen since they did this green screen for Cassandra in the End of the World.
Yeah,
because it's just a green cutout of that shape. No, just the effects are incredible throughout, and then the voice acting is incredible throughout. And he's not just a living cartoon; he's the god of freaking light.
Nice. And once again, we hear that fucking laugh, because like that's one of Mr. Ring-a-Ding's catchphrases is "Don't make me laugh,"
and that's why.
And of course they ask, "Why shouldn't we make you laugh?" And of course, that fucking laugh.
I thought this was a toy bag. You're kidding me, right?
Yeah. There's also the reveal of the Rock Hudson film, which doesn't actually exist.
Yeah,
is in fact Harbinger.
That was nice.
That was nice.
That happened spoiled to me, unfortunately, in a year ago in behind the scenes filming shots. Someone shared without realizing its significance, but still, it was a nice idea. What happened to Rock Hudson in real life? Not a nice thing at all.
Oof.
And they do touch upon that in a scene that's very much a mixture of I'm showing off my knowledge of film history and also a very honest depiction of the history of queerness in the world.
Yeah.
We have always been here.
I think he handled it rather well, honestly, throughout. Didn't shy away from difficult subjects, but didn't also make them overshadow the episode. If that's a fair way of putting it.
What? Look, people in my media? Cancel it.
And then where are we up to? Oh, yes. Everyone gets animated.
Yep, they get animated in style closer to Hanna-Barbera, a la the Scooby-Doo, or perhaps more aptly, given the character designs, Josie and the Pussycats.
Yeah.
It's probably more Scooby-Doo because they were making a bunch of Scooby-Doo references. Like the Doctor was Velma.
Linda became Fred.
Yeah. One, I love every single facial expression the Doctor had when Belinda hey, we could go now. We can go now. And then he's like,
But
I mean, then, there's a mystery.
But then it's
to know about the locked hotel, locked theater with the caretaker.
And
it's eventually even Belinda's is like, okay, yeah, let's go.
This is going to be, I think, a running theme throughout Belinda's tenure in the TARDIS.
Yeah, she is.
She's like, okay, time to go home.
Yeah, Belinda in many regards is torn between two instincts. One, to very much want to go home and not be on the TARDIS because she knows it's dangerous, but also one of being someone who genuinely wants to help people. She cares about people who are hurt. When she sees the doctor's hand is burned later in the episode, she goes to try take care of it. She goes to, in the previous episode, she took care of the soldiers or the rebels who were all injured, even if their injuries weren't as much as other rebels.
Yeah. She's a very caring person. And we get more depth to her character, quite literally, which I love this idea. As she shared her emotions, she got more depth, and she literally gained more depth on the screen. That's fantastic.
Though making it a bit more CGI is a choice regarding animation styles. I think it would have been more charming, though probably a bit more difficult to pull off if they changed the styling of the animation rather than went for or towards CGI.
The whole joke, though, is the depth in 3D.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair.
I mean,
fair.
The doctor just says, my brain's 2D, I can't think.
Yeah, they were trying to make themselves back to being fully, like, physical 3D people. So changing animation styles wasn't going to do anything to that whole thing you were saying.
Yeah, right. Kuchiri is right. That's what it was for. It was literally the whole develop more depth by becoming 3D.
Yeah. I do wish kind of that they had between the more animated 3D and becoming real people, they had the section where it was like the uncanny, realistic video game graphics sort of animation. But I can see that they probably were pressed for time.
So Kamen Rider Hibiki then.
I haven't watched that, so I don't know. But no, I'm just saying, like, they probably didn't have either the budget or time for that, and they spent it all later on Mr. Ring-a-Ding. So I don't know. It just would have been kind of nice for them to have that.
In fairness, they did the right thing spending a lot of the budget on Mr. Ring-a-Ding, because
yeah, and they bring that idea forward later in the episode, but we will get to that.
I also thought that he actually folded himself under. Yeah, it was. I also thought he folded himself under the door to get through the locked door.
Yes. Oh my gosh, yes.
This is so Who Framed Roger Rabbit. I love it.
I love it so much. Like, I don't think I've ever expressed this, but I actually really like the idea of animation and live action being mixed. Who Framed Roger Rabbit and Space Jam were, like, obviously the first movies that I ever saw to do this. But I have seen a couple of other movies and mediums that do this. And it's been something that's always appealed to me because, like, you have the best of both worlds where you can have the live action people, you can get, like, the real emotions, you can have sort of the quote-unquote cheaper and easier way of doing, the filming and everything. But you also have the wackiness and the less logical version of animation where you can do things like you can stretch something out and it'll be all loopy and weird and then snap right back to normal. Or you can have, the judge suddenly get a squeaky voice and pop out his eyes into daggers and start, trying to murder people.
Oh my God.
And then there's also the whole history of animation, which has a lot of moments like that, ranging from Eisenstein trying to emulate Disney cartoons by having giant shadows appear on the walls to rotoscopes wherein live action actors are drawn over.
Yeah. Yes, and it's so fascinating to see the idea of live action mixed with animation, and just it's a medium that I think isn't used as often or even as well as it really should be.
Also, Kat, you're not going to believe this, but what you talked about animation combined with live action, there's an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie that does just that. It does exactly what you described. It's not a major part of the film. Last Action Hero, yeah. It's not a major part of the film, but it's there.
Yeah, it's like I was trying to remember what the title was and I couldn't, so thank you. But yeah, I've seen Last Action Hero.
It's parodying Hollywood, so it's like, you're teamed up with the animated cat, and there's like, that's definitely a film, right? That's an animated cat. Yeah, he works in the studio. He works very hard.
Yeah, I think that might be
like Bojangles or whatever, but not actually because copyright.
It's
Danny DeVito's voice adaptation of the Arnold Schwarzenegger thing, which after going through development hell became Bonkers.
Oh God,
Bonkers. That's it, Bonkers. Not Bojangles. Yes. Bojangles is the restaurant.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I've seen Bonkers, so you have to forgive me.
Last Action Hero also has fictional characters coming to life in the real world, and at one point, Arnold Schwarzenegger almost meets his fictional character.
Yes.
Yes.
And speaking of the X-Men, Ian McKellen's in it as Death.
Yes, from the Seventh Seal.
But yeah, I won't be surprised if other media will try and do this now with just how well the public reaction to this has been.
Yeah.
Hopefully. But speaking of Arnold Schwarzenegger nearly meeting his own character, the Doctor and Belinda going through the film reel. And
this is so meta. This whole episode is so meta.
I love it. I love meta stuff so much. This is why I'm a Deadpool fan.
Yeah. I will be getting to my thoughts on the madness of this.
So they begin by scrolling it up and down. That doesn't do a damn thing.
Instead, that gets them into the hell dimension with the racist cop from New York, in Florida.
Yeah, who is from New York, and they're in Florida. That's quite a nice touch.
I know, so it's like you're in Miami, Florida. You're in Florida. You're already in hell. It's not that hard.
Well, the thing is, they also were dealing with all those scenes. They were outside, and Belinda was wearing that dress and all that stuff. It was apparently like 20 or 30 degrees in Glasgow or wherever they were filming this.
Yeah.
Oof. Oh, that's. I know how she felt. That's the wedding I went to, essentially.
This is one of the few episodes that they did do some filming outside of the Babel studios. And it was a bad choice for them because, as you mentioned, the weather was not the best choice to be wearing that dress in.
But they pushed through the fourth wall via the screen.
Oh my goodness.
In a room full of nerds, which I'm pretty sure is the point where RTD decides to fuck with Elizabeth Sandifer specifically, because in the early years of Tarsiratorum, she did an entry on The Mind Robber, wherein she postulates that Doctor Who is actually an escapee from the land of fiction. And she has since come to regret that one as one of those clever things you do when you're young.
When the Doctor and Belinda stepped into that living room, you could hear the exact Mike's broken heart because his theory is probably not correct.
Okay, two things about this scene. One, holy shit, RTD, you're a fucking genius because you predicted fucking everything. And two, the last time we did this podcast, when we talked a second, Kuchiri and I, we suggested one episode for her to watch, and it was fucking Blink.
It was
not the one where I meet the goblins.
I feel called out.
Wait, not the one that I meet the goblins in? Blink.
No,
what about the one where I fight where I came up with the Beals? Blink. But what about the one where I stand on a landmine?
Blink.
I feel called out, RTD. And I'm one of the good ones.
Also, the fact that they actually called out hashtag RIP Doctor Who.
Yep.
Yes.
RTD confirms it. Doctor Who is dead.
But this.
I love you, RTD. I love you so much.
And I could be wrong, right? But this felt more like an affectionate parody than a piss take.
Yeah, it's the difference between this and Love and Monsters, and once again bring us back to the Spoon Man, the greatest show in the galaxy.
Yeah. Someone did suggest these with the Gods of Ragnarok.
No, that was a theory I saw on social media the other. Which
entertain us.
Entertain us.
Speaking of social media, I've been surprised with how well this episode's been received on there, which is now being counterintuitive to the Rip Doctor Who point that's in this episode.
I love that Ian Levine loved this because he didn't realize this is a parody of him.
No, that's Love and Monsters.
Wow. You're absolutely right, but also, wow. And at this point, we're talking about, the Doctor Who fans. This is the point.
How'd they get the rights to have K9 appear?
I love that. I saw that mug and I love that. I want the mug. Give me the mug.
Yeah. At this point, I just dropped this here.
Yeah.
Also, Lizzie's mug that says Lizzie don't blink. That's amazing. Lizzie's t-shirt is also amazing.
Yeah. Beep the meat merch.
Oh, that's Robin's t-shirt. But yeah, I want that Telos shirt.
Yeah, and then there's also they also have the extremely long scarf, which I also have. A fez, which I'm actually looking at right now.
And they also have a whole bunch of media behind them.
I'm pretty sure those are novels.
I don't know, but I feel like I need to yell to start getting some points across.
Fair enough.
Yeah, we do have a hand raising system, guys. Come on. I've been using it.
I'm on mobile, so unfortunately, the only way I can use it is to go back to it.
That's fair.
I can't have the list open and have Google open. Unfortunately,
Kat, that's absolutely fair. It was not a call out to any specific person, but
No, I get that. I'm just explaining why I'm not using the hand raising system. So I'm trying to be more aware of when everybody's done talking.
Yeah, and then it's time for me to present again, and you will not like this at all. So I can't remember who the person on the bird site was that came up with it. Oh yeah, credit to Andrew, credit to Floella Bagabe, I think that is, who came up with, where is it now, when the television was a perfect green screen.
Oh no.
What? No, we can't. This you won't be able to show this on YouTube, dude.
Okay, well I'll just censor it, no problem.
Oh yeah.
Oh God.
No Magusta. I'll just put up a card that says "scene missing." It's fine. We've all reacted to it. We can all guess what it is, but yeah, scene missing.
Well,
like I said, I bleach. But the fact that these fans are not yeah, the fact that these fans are not actually real was a very heartfelt moment.
We just realized we don't have surnames.
Yeah. I've also seen some people note that they basically only all agree on the same favorite episode, which on the one hand, Blink is absolutely a popular episode. And also Belinda's joke about Blink being, well, premise, all right? It's an episode where you can't blink.
Sounds a riot.
But here's the thing. I've literally been in rooms with like 40 or 50 people. Someone says something about how they want to watch Doctor Who and everyone crowds them, all trying to argue about which one to get them started on. And they all realize they're about ready to all recommend Blink. I mean, it's cliche, but it really does happen that Blink is something that almost everyone recommends to new viewers.
Yes, the episode where the Doctor barely appears at all.
Well,
also, I would like to call out, there's absolutely no way that any true Doctor Who fan will ever just say it's an episode where you can't blink. There's 100% chance that they would say, oh, it's an episode where blah, 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 and it would go on about the entire thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I did refer to the heist episode as the episode where you can't think. Whenever we were talking about which episodes.
This was a very Buffety episode, wasn't it? Just thinking about it.
And I suppose you would describe the Timeless Children as the episode where you can't watch.
Nice joke.
But you have to, because otherwise it doesn't make any goddamn sense. Great.
Yeah.
I mean, a piece brief.
And also the fact that you said they're not important because they don't have surnames, but they're here to help characters that are important. At the end of the episode, we get the fake out credit sequence, and they've got surnames.
They became real people.
Honestly, which means the second best post-credit scene of this weekend.
Second best?
Have you seen Sinners?
No. So
watch Sinners.
Okay.
No.
You don't tell them what to do.
Exactly.
That's our job.
Hey.
It's a joke. It's a joke.
It better be.
I promise you it's a joke. I know. You've sent me a lovely T-shirt.
Yes.
I'm not wearing it right about now, but I am. It is a lovely T-shirt. Well, wait, that's thrown me completely. Yeah, so they blink out of existence, pun completely intended by Russell T Davies. And we all very well said they do, of course, survive at the end. I don't even care. That doesn't make any sense. I like the fact they survive at the end.
Because there's always a twist in the end.
It would. But that could also work. But it would always be an everybody lives ending, except that Reginald Pye absolutely dies. So, whoops. And then we get, where are we up to? Oh, yes. Lux has got some goals, which I think Sean would like to talk about.
Yep. Right. So, the opening shot of this episode is a depiction of a newsreel talking about the power of the nuclear bomb, which Lux wants to have control of. He wants the light that is emitted by the atom bomb. This in conversation with the mention of him being a fictional character come to life, puts into mind of one comics writer by the name of Grant Morrison. Grant Morrison is the child of anti-war protester Walter Morrison, who is notable for his utter disdain for the atomic bomb, which he passed on to his child. Grant went on to do a bunch of comics, including All-Star Superman and Final Crisis, Wonder Woman, and Animal Man. In the 5th issue of their Animal Man run, Grant Morrison features a character by the name of Crafty Coyote, who is very much Wile E. Coyote come to life into the real world. Wile E. Coyote tries to fight against God because God made the world cruel and awful, full of cartoon violence, and Crafty Coyote wants the world to be better. God throws him up to the hell above, which is the DC universe, to live and die and live again forever and always. It culminates in the coyote being shot, ending with this image. Happy Easter, everyone!
Well,
it's honestly one of the best comics around of the 80s. Well, superhero comics, anyways.
Yeah, it also looks depressing as hell.
Yep.
And on such coyotes, one example I wasn't going to bring, because I thought that might be what we were talking about, is of this whole, live action with animated characters in it. Atme vs. Coyote, or Coyote vs. Atme.
Oh yeah, that's coming out.
Thank God that's getting a release.
Yeah, the film, I think it's mainly due to the success of The Day the Earth Blew Up, which was absolutely charming, though parts of it could have been slightly rewritten. And there is a gag in it where upon reacting to the decisions of the characters, someone in the audience stands up and goes, "The Duck? What is wrong with you? I'm out of this theater." And it's depicted in live action. And you see a shadow on the wall.
If you haven't seen it, highly suggest, if it ever comes out on video, highly suggest getting it and watching it. It is so good.
It's actually currently streaming.
Is it? Where?
Yeah, it got streaming debut a few days ago.
Oh my gosh, where?
Purchase.
Okay. Purchase on where though?
On
because there's members of the people here that haven't seen it, and I need as many people as possible to see it because it's so
good. What's it called? The Day the Earth Blew Up.
Oh wait, sorry, my bad. It's going to be coming out May 27th.
May 27th. Okay. If you have not seen it, May 27th, please, everything you can. Literally, Warner Brothers, they did not want this to get out. A third-party distributor had to buy the rights to it.
So
just
again,
like
it's Coyote
versus Acme.
Yeah.
Show your love to this movie. It's so good.
Okay.
Man, Warner Brothers is just a shit company right now, isn't it?
Well, we already knew that because they're backing up J.K. Rowling. So,
Of course they are.
Yep.
Anyways, you were saying, Sean, I'm sorry.
Trans rights. Anyway.
No, I think my point was done before. So the run also features Animal Man meeting their author, Grant Morrison, and pleading to the author, "Can I please just have a happy ending?" And Grant, being the sap that they are, gives the Animal Man the happy ending.
No.
And I believe that Kat would like to talk about the concept of Mr. Ring-a-Ding as a character?
So based off this episode itself, I have a little bit of a running theory going on. So this is not based off the Maestro or Toy Maker or or Sutek, because this is just based off Mr. Ring-a-Ding himself, Lux himself. So the past one we've had, the Toy Maker has met the Doctor before. Sutek has met the Doctor before. Maestro has not, but has heard of the Doctor. Lux may have heard of the Doctor, but is very, very new to all of this and doesn't seem to know anything. So, in my opinion, Lux is not an evil character at all. Lux is a child.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all that Lux is. Lux is selfish. They're just wanting to accomplish their own goals. They're brand new to everything. And they have one goal, and that's to power themselves up with light, become a real character, become a real person, essentially. And they haven't been one. So that's why, they grab the Doctor, they, put the light through because they see the Doctor is literally full of the light of regeneration. And they want to use that to become a real thing. That's why they love the moonlight so much, because they were able to use that to become, Mr. Ring-a-Ding. They were able to, use the light of the projectors to power themselves up. And when you look at the episode itself, why would they keep Reg around? They show that they can actually keep the projectors working by themselves. I mean, the projectors actually turn around by themselves. The projectors leak out film and capture the Doctors by themselves using Lux's power. Who's to say that Lux can't start the film reels by themselves? Have the film reels come out, put into the projectors, or even just rewind and start the projectors themselves. Even if you have to assume that they need, by the 1950s technology, they need him there in order to be able to rewind the films and show the films, which is what I assume is probably going on. Why give him his wife back when you have intimidation? Lux put 15 people, captured them forever in film, which the way that he said that is already interesting to me, because he didn't say, I put them there to get rid of them. He said, I captured them forever. As in, he, preserved them. And yeah, he does do threatening things, but he does it in sort of a playful way. And then there's the whole fact that, again, he gave Reg back his wife. And during the scene where Reg is dancing with the film version of his wife, it cuts to Mr. Ring-a-Ding very briefly, and you see that he has that emotional face that some cartoon characters have, where he's got, the doughy eyes, and he's got that small smile, and it's why would Lux even give two shits about this? Why? I honestly think that by showing us that scene and by showing us Lux as a character, and by the ending where Lux has been hit by the sunlight and is all about the light of creation, Lux is simply just a child who is brand new to the world, saw the whole atomic bomb thing. It was I want that light because that light is going to fuel me, and it's the strongest light I have ever seen. And doesn't know anything about sunlight because they think it's just fake. And then as soon as the sunlight comes in, they realize there is something better out there, and I can be something better out there. And so maybe the rest of the pantheon is going to be something like that. Because can you honestly say that an entire pantheon of gods, even if they're chaos gods, is going to be entirely evil?
No.
To further support your reading of the character, it's worth knowing the actual form that Lux takes on, that of Mr. Ring-a-Ding. which is that of a cartoon character. More specifically, it's that of a children's cartoon character. Mr. Ring-a-Ding is a character that appear in cartoons that appear before movies. He's very much a fixture of children's fiction, and absolutely so. A child appearing in the form of what a child would watch, i.e., a cartoon in the cinema.
I mean,
yeah, and so just interesting. Sorry, go ahead.
I mean, I don't think we should really focus on who the body is, because the moonlight only happened while they were doing that reel. So it wasn't like a conscious choice to be that body. Like if they were doing...
That's a good point.
If they were doing, I don't know, like a Tarzan movie, he would have been Tarzan.
Oh my God.
On the other hand, and we do have the knowledge that Mr. Ring-a-Ding can actually change his form, because he mentions that he learned perspective.
True.
He can change the size of him, but then if you notice, he forgot how to make himself bigger again. True. So I don't think he can actually change his shape.
Plus, he's bound by the rules of the projector. So when Reginald plays it, he's bound to do the dance.
Although honestly, that still helps prove my theory a little bit, because he doesn't know how to expand beyond the character that he has become. You know, he follows the rules of the projector in the cartoon. He has to dance and sing just like the actual Mr. Ring-a-Ding on the set. He learned perspective. So that's something brand new to Lux that Lux has never known before. So either A, you could take this as this is the first time Lux has ever been a physical being, which is entirely possible. Or B, you know, this is the first time Lux has ever been around anything ever.
Yeah,
and it's just curious like a child.
A brand new god, yeah.
Yeah.
Who knows of the Doctor? Because so you know the other members of the Pantheon were defeated, but I'm not like them, and they did the whole 7-note laugh, and said that the reason why he wanted the Doctor was because of the light of regeneration, which that whole finale a little bit rushed perhaps because they had 45 minutes and only 45 minutes, but also holy crap. The 3D.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, going back to the history of animation, this is both one of many examples of making a cartoon character look realistic, and it's creepy as all fuck, and also a specific cartoonist who is problematic, the creator of Ren and Stimpy, John Krasinski.
That's the name, yes.
Yeah, John Krasinski would frequently do up-close shots that would show the disgusting pores on the characters' faces that look even more realistic than they do from a distance.
How about instead of that, we just reference SpongeBob?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
Nobody's done anything wrong on SpongeBob's team, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah, SpongeBob would take this even further and make it even better and do even better with it.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that shot of him coming through the wall of the Krusty Krab diner.
Yeah,
Yes.
Exactly.
Or where it goes to Squidward's thighs and then he blows up.
That's it. Yes.
Or the movie where SpongeBob is quote unquote hungover from all the ice cream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, just thinking about SpongeBob got me sad given what happened to its creator, but the resolution was a little rushed, but I think I'm fine with it because I've said this before. Like, you have these all-powerful godlike enemies, but they had to be beaten. Lux is not really beaten here.
He's helped.
Lux gets what he wants, and he ascends to a higher plane of existence.
He ceases to be a problem. Yeah, and I am nothing.
And nothing. Goodbye.
He feels quite what he says is the light of creation, which is a great way to put it.
Yeah. A god ascending to godhood, I guess.
And
or a higher
even
godhood.
Belinda said it the best. I mean, he's everywhere and invisible, like a real god.
And maybe they didn't catch some heat for that, but they didn't.
God as a cartoon character with amoral an amoral cartoon character is very funny.
I don't know if I would say amoral because, I mean, he lets everybody go at the end. Unless they're trying to say that he really did lose all of his powers by becoming everything and nothing.
I mean, he did threaten to also destroy Reg's wife, so is he really that benevolent?
Yeah.
Did he destroy Reg's wife, or did she just blow up in the?
No. He threatened to burn the footage.
Well, yeah, because he's a kid and he doesn't know any better.
Okay. At this point, I think this is a good time to bring up my reference to a Torchwood episode. Which it was good. It was good. I promise you.
Oh, okay.
From Out of the Rain, series 2, where the villains are people that literally come out of a film reel in the lightning storm, but they're not cartoons. They are celluloid, and they follow the rules of celluloid, and they are destroyed when the film is exposed to light.
Incidentally, the nitrate film in a movie theater being exploded is very much the ending to Inglourious Bastards.
I was going to say that, yeah. It is.
Oh, spoilers. I haven't seen that movie.
That doesn't give too much away. It's all right.
I know, but still, it's funny.
There's a lot more beyond that going on.
Yep.
Believe me. Like Christoph Waltz chewing all the scenery.
And a lot of dead Nazis.
Yay!
That's not really a spoiler either.
No, but yay!
I could give spoilers, but I won't. I'll be nice.
Please don't.
And then, of course, after our everybody lives moment, except for Reg, but he did choose to sacrifice himself to be with his wife again, which was a very touching moment, actually, which he hands in the matches. Mm-hmm. And she is celluloid. I believe that's why she's grey.
Yeah. His film reel wife gives him the matches. And honestly, I kind of like the fact that the characters and people inside of the film reels can actually take on aspects of those people. It really gives a little bit of depth to the creations that Lux makes.
A detail about, speaking of Lux, a detail that I just remembered was there's film grain on him. Even when he's in the real world, he has film grain on him.
Yeah.
Because he's literally copying the cartoon. He's become the cartoon. Something I forgot to mention at the start with the extras in the movie theater when they all get taken by Lux. One of them was interviewed on Behind the Scenes, and he had the best ever motivation for being an extra in Doctor Who. I get paid £700 to sit in a chair and eat popcorn.
Yeah, I do it too.
Good for you, my guy. Mm. Honestly, kudos. And we finally end, of course, with Mrs. Flood.
This bitch.
She's part of the Pantheon. That's my guess. She is part of the fucking Pantheon somehow.
But if she was part of the Pantheon, how come Sutek killed her?
She could be one of the Guardians.
She's the one who waits.
No, that was Sutek.
No, that's what they were saying, but clearly, so going back to what the toy maker said about he avoided the one who waits. If it was part of the Pantheon, I don't think he would have straight up avoided them, you know? I understand Sutek was part on the TARDIS for so long, but I feel like there's a twist here still.
Are we forgetting, though, that Maestro literally thanked the Doctor for destroying the toy maker and letting them get loose?
Yeah.
And then there's also the boss, which, again, we have Beep the Meep mentioned here, so we haven't heard anything about
Flood rather than the one who waits, yeah.
Or she could be both.
Do we think this is a new character or a returning character?
As fun as it would be for it to be an old character that's returning, I'm honestly wondering if, again, this is somebody new from the Pantheon that just, got caught up in the whole Sutek thing. Somehow. Because they didn't want us to know exactly that she was part of the Pantheon.
Well, whoever she is, her plans were originally thwarted by Sutek killing everything, including herself.
The Doctor brought everything back, so it's fine.
True, and she's like, "You clever boy, what a clever boy." Yeah, you're right.
She could be the Doctor's wife.
Oh,
Again, there is a lot of speculation with this character.
There's an awful lot of speculation. I'll say one thing right now, right? I think this kid is taking a hit with my theory that she's the master. I don't want her to be the master at all. I thought it was something that Russell T Davies could actually do. But firstly, Michelle Gomez is this. And secondly, I just don't like the fact that in this season of Doctor Who, where we have these wonderful, bold, and innovative concepts, and the big reveal is she's the master.
Yeah, and she doesn't really vibe with the Ronnie, despite what some people will say.
I mean, Flood, Rain, Rani, possibly, but yeah.
The Mara would feel a bit too.
Mara did get a name drop in Legacy of Ruby Sunday.
Yeah, but if you want to do the Mara, you really want the snake puppet.
Sorry, Legend of Ruby Sunday. Yeah.
If you're not doing the snake puppet, you're a coward. And I don't think Russell T Davies is a coward.
Also, Kuchiri, can I ask you one thing? Are you tearing up your script now?
No. No. I'm still doing my script. I just don't want to say what I actually think is going on.
Go ahead.
I decided I didn't want to say because I'm saving for the script.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah. Yeah. I did help a little bit with that project, and I was happy to do it.
I gotta get back to that as well. Remind me.
People saying, why he didn't pay you? No, he paid me an exposure. It's fine. That's a joke.
Honestly, I'm just trying to figure out what Mrs. Flood is trying to do because it's so weird and vague.
Well, we now know she's deliberately linked to the May 24th event.
Well, yeah, but it's like she just goes up to the people and she says, "Oh, you liked that show? You should take a look at this one instead," and has them watch the Doctor disappear in the TARDIS. And it's like, okay, why? Why did she have them specifically watch them?
Limited run.
It could be.
No, I think there's a purpose.
Yeah. If I were to hazard a guess about a purpose, I'd go with she's trying to introduce aliens before 2005, thereby making there be a huge paradox about that.
Oh, that's good.
Maybe. Or she's trying to turn the Doctor into a meme of some sort, like use him to infect the minds of others somehow.
Oh, she's the god of the internet. No.
I mean, that was already Martha's plan, so.
Please don't have her be the god of the internet.
She is the ultimate conservative incel trying to cancel Doctor Who.
Wait, she's Mary Whithouse?
No, you see, it's fine. No, see, it's fine. They already took down 4chan, so we're safe.
Again, I said this last night, but the last thing that site saw was Chicken Jockey. A fitting end, I think, for that website. Yeah, a fitting end for that particular website. So, unless anyone's got anything else to say about Mrs. Flood, and I don't think we have, let's move on to our overall thoughts about this episode. I know what we're all going to say broadly, but Sean, as our guest, would you like to go first?
I found the episode to be quite charming. There were some moments where it was a little bit rushed, but generally speaking, I loved it. It was an absolute blast. Alan Cumming plays a cartoon. What more could you want?
Kuchiri?
That's probably the best episode of Doctor Who I've seen in a decade.
Wow. That's high praise. Decade will be 2050. What? Wait, so even more than Heaven Sent? Or Hellbent?
Hey. I say what I say.
No. I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying, yeah.
I put both of those episodes at like a 9 out of 10. I'm putting this at a 10 out of 10.
Okay.
Freezing Inferno would like to know your location.
Kat?
I wouldn't say that it's probably the best episode of Doctor Who I've ever seen, but this is definitely right up there. Lux / Mr. Ring-a-Ding is fantastic. I love the setting, even though I don't love some of the values that they have in the setting, but they handled it very correctly. I love the characters. I love the plot, even though, again, kind of rushed. I love Reggie. I love the fans that they had in there. The meta bits. I love this. This is a great episode. Kudos, RTD. Stop calling me out, please. Blink is a good episode.
I think we all got called out by that scene. And I echo what everyone else said. This is a terrific episode of Doctor Who. This is exactly what I wanted to happen when Russell T Davies came back. Bold, innovative television that does take risks, and the risks pay off, and doing things that they literally could not do 20 years ago in 2005. When Russell T Davies first took over Doctor Who. They just couldn't do this. No, 2007.
Yeah, I said before the show was good.
Oh, before the show was good, yeah. I didn't catch the before bit, sorry. I thought you were doing the when the show was good bit. But
no, that's their love of Blink, which was when the show was good.
Wild Blue Yonder was my favourite episode by far of this new era. And I think it has competition at last. And I think they are actually quite similar in the sense that it's a wild and wonderful concept that you wouldn't be able to do 20 years ago. So that's probably why I love it so much. Alan Cumming, fantastic as Lux. As I say, amazing vocal performance. I did think that maybe they were going to have him literally appear when he said, I'm building myself a new body. That was going to be it. I thought, no, don't do that. That will ruin it. Don't have him in the cartoon outfit. That will not be good. What they actually went with the 3D was so much better. And tearing the Doctor apart to get the light of life. Just brilliant. It was a little rush, like Sean said, towards the end. But 9.5 easily. I think this will be a seen as a classic for years to come.
Yeah. Okay, better question. Favorite member of the Pantheon so far?
Neil Patrick Harris.
God.
Fair.
Yes, that's what she's asking. Which one?
No. Is that a savvy joke?
No.
I know what you're doing. I'm throwing it back in your face. Favorite member of the Pantheon so far? Either Toymaker or Lux.
I'm torn between Maestro and Lux. Maestro's just so fun.
I mean, they're all fun apart from Sutak, who's designed not to be fun.
Yeah. I love giant dog.
Dog.
No.
He got leashed.
Again, I do appreciate the fact that they beat the god of death by taking their dog for a walk. Now, unfortunately, Freezing Inferno couldn't make it because of the aforementioned turkey dinner, but we did a thing last night because we anticipated that Fresno couldn't make it, but we'll have things to say. So Frez, Sean, and Kuchiri sat down and recorded a little 10-minute segment, which we're going to throw to right now.
And here for Frez's thoughts, it's Freezing Infernos.
Wow, it's me. Oh my god. So this episode fucking ruled. Holy shit. The fourth wall absolutely in fucking tatters. Metafiction up the ass. All continuity just throw it out the window. Holy fuck. Dogs and cats living the other mass hysteria. 10 out of 10, 5 out of 7. We fucking love it.
Yeah, no, that's basically what we've been saying in the main podcast, or I have. This is recorded before the main podcast.
He says this supposed to be timey-wimey. To pull the...
Because you're in the main podcast. We were... No. Sean.
Fair enough.
Yeah. No. I'm pulling back the curtain to reveal the weirdo operating this machine and pretending to be the great and powerful podcaster. That one's
Mike's
for you,
not
Mikey.
here.
Mike is always here, Sean. Mike is always here. No, but we're actually recording this the day before. Yeah. We just did our Hibiki show. It was neat. Yeah, Lux, holy fucking shit. I have to say, the opening of this episode, the goddamn God of Light comes into being by being reflected off a spoon. The
Doctor
Who
mirror alert.
Ultimate Doctor Who mirror alert. Reflected off a spoon by egg light.
Yeah, no, it's also the spoon. Like, I was going to make I don't know if I'm going to remember this tomorrow, but how many times have the spoon come into play in Doctor Who now?
Let's see. He fought with Robin Hood against it. He dropped it when he was in Hellbent, and then there was the last season finale where he got a spoon that ultimately didn't matter.
But the spoon matters now.
Spoon matters now. Now this episode's wild. It's a whole thing about the god of light, and it's got a lot of artifice about the magic of cinema, even though this is a streaming television show. But I digress. And it really plays around with the things. I'm sure in the actual show, Sean, you enjoyed the Scooby-Doo shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. On Velma, babe.
I love how they basically recreated the scene from season 1 where the Doctor and Ruby runs into one part of the TARDIS and comes out with period clothes.
Yeah, they did that shot. And I really have to say, it's interesting. And again, white person saying this, take with a grain of salt, that they dealt with, the past was a mistake and racist as shit. A little better than Rosa, where it's like, oh, this exists, but we gotta.
Yeah, I feel like some of Davies makes some comments in the Unleashed that feel very much. I did not want to do Rosa.
Yeah.
And to be fair, Rosa had a lot of strong points. I've only seen it since it aired. I haven't only seen it since it aired, so it had a lot of strong points. But also, Doctor Who solves racism because it's all predicated on one great woman, and she gets an asteroid named out of her. We don't go to that level. So.
Yeah. Also, you have the whole. This is a conversation that happens a lot in superhero comics where you have a whole discourse about what Superman should do in a situation. Like, must there be a Superman? And usually it results in people going, no, I can't do that because I can't solve all the problems because I'm not strong enough, but there's a more sensible answer of, yeah, that would be kind of fashy. To have one strong man solve all the problems of the world, which honestly explains why all Superman stories these days basically default to Superman going evil, because again, and the strong man fantasy is very much one that is very in vogue with the fascists.
It's also the fact that Superman's just boring now.
Yeah, the problem is that a lot of people just want this heterosexual male to be the most boring thing ever. Like, Spider-Man's boring. Batman's only not boring by virtue of the fact that everyone has decided to be extremely horny about it. But even right now, we are veering towards Batman is boring territory. Like, the last interesting run ended a few years back with Ron B's Detective Comics, but that's a whole other conversation.
To distract from this cut into the Doctor Who podcast for this DC's comic podcast, Fresno, what did you think about the whole scene with people acting like us?
Oh! It's funny you mentioned comics because Russell T Davies accidentally does The Girl Who Loved Doctor Who.
It's a Paul Cornell comic where the 11th Doctor gets into a weird timey-wimey thing involving a Cyberman and ends up in our world next to a young girl. She and her mother showed the Matt Smith Doctor Who an episode of Doctor Who to explain regeneration, and it's the twin dilemma.
It's
also Doctor Who goes to a Doctor Who convention and enters a Doctor Who lookalike contest and wins second place.
Because that's how that always works out.
No, I love this scene though. I am one thing they should have done, and
actually, the comics reference that we should make is the 100th issue of Doctor Who magazine, where Beep the Meep forces the 8th Doctor and I think Izzy, I forget the 8th Doctor comic companion's name, but forces them to enter an alternate universe where basically they end up on the red nose set for the BBC, and Tom Baker shows up.
That's great. Yeah. I love and Beep the Meep is here. And
yeah, it's the second appearance of Beep the Meep.
Yeah, but I love, and one thing I really wish they'd done is the scene where they actually break the fourth wall and push the glass out of the TV. I really wish that they had gotten their Shooty got his hand to go over the black bars of the letterboxing.
Yeah, it's not like it's not possible. Even if you have, speaking of Disney money, the obvious example is how do I put this? The absolutely craptastic Oz the Great and Terrible.
See, I told you Mike was haunting this podcast. He doesn't have to be here.
But I do like how the characters suddenly realize while they're nerding out about Doctor Who, like, oh shit, we are characters without surnames. Oh no,
shit, not real.
Oh.
Yeah, honestly, I felt like that bit was a tad bit rushed. Could have gone for a bit longer.
I really like that beat. I mean, it's just like, what's your favorite episode? Blink. Oh, but what about the goblins or the one where I'm on Levi? Blink, blink, blink.
Yeah, but
and then Belinda fucking shits on Blink. Like,
the lady even says, hashtag rip Doctor Who. Doctor Who dead forever is now in the universe. You can't make it out just playing with the fire of the fans, being like, oh, it's canceled for good. We don't have a Disney deal. But fuck, I really love this episode. I love the way, I love a whole bunch of shit about it. I love the cartoon part where they have to become 3-dimensional and talk about their feelings and shit to gain literal depth. And I love this.
That's more of a I mean, like, there's all honestly with the Blink gag, I think it would have been funnier if they further highlighted what the episode was, which is so it's an episode where I don't appear at all.
Yeah, and it's also funny considering this whole thing is about the god of light and the power of the moving image, and the best Doctor Who episode they cite is Blink, an episode about the angel, and the image of an angel becomes an angel. It's about
the image of angel is Flesh and Stone, the Flesh and Stone 2-part where they move because film is 24 frames a second, ergo it's blinking 23 times every second.
Yeah, there you go. But the angels are tied into that, and I could just imagine. I wonder if Stephen Moffat knew Russell was doing this bit, or if he just happened to see the episode. They sit down, they're like, "Oh, my favorite episode's Blink," and poor guy's just cackling.
On the one hand, Stephen is very much Russell's set husband. On the other hand, Stephen is absolutely the kind of person who does not want spoilers. Like, I think there was a story back when when Moffat was doing Dracula, where Sacha Dhawan accidentally spoils. Oh, by the way, here's a thing that's a reference to the Master. I don't know what this word means. The tissue compression.
Yeah, but even our boy Chibnall gets a nod because we have a noble sacrifice that is a little odd of a beat.
And then there's a post-credit scene. Probably
I love this. That was full Last Christmas,
I'd say it's the best post-credit scene I've seen lately, but I just saw Sinners last night, and that is fucking amazing. Oh my god.
That is good. But I love it. I love it.
Cajun Black vampire movie.
Yeah.
Oh hell yeah. That sounds like a good time.
Yeah. Michael B. Jordan playing twins, which is the 4th time this has happened this year.
Oh no, I really love this. I love that the god of light gets to like ascend into the sunlight as it's kind of poignant and beautiful in a way. He's like, I am becoming light. Oh, it's beautiful. It's so beautiful. It's not, Doctor, damn you, I'll get you next time. There's kind of a beauty in an ascension almost, really. I like it a lot.
In my opinion, this was like the best episode in like a decade.
It's very good. I don't have any definitive ranking. Let's say it is the best Doctor Who episode since Dot and Bubble.
Ooh, okay.
And I say that as someone who will stand up for Empire of Death, but
I found it to be charming, if a bit rushed.
Yeah, it's neat, and I like the benefit. I mean, I have this whole little. Mike had a theory on where the season was going, and I kind of vibed with that. And You get a little of that energy here. I don't know if we're going to see it in 6.
I'm probably going to go into this more next in the actual podcast proper, but I am very much going to be going on a rant about Grant Morrison because Jesus Christ, there is so much Grant Morrison in
Yeah. Look, I can see that. I've only covered a few Grant Morrison comics, but I definitely can see where you're getting that from.
Not to mention, this is still not. If we're going in terms of what the greatest Grant Morrison episode of television is, this is still not as good as Twin Peaks: The Return, episode 8.
Well, what is, to be fair?
Yeah, that's fair. But it's a decent second place.
Yeah. I mean, that's a really fucking high bar, Sean. If we're gonna write things up for not being as good as episode 8 of The Return, wow, that just leaves all the media down here.
So Fresno, any final thoughts before we throw it back to us and Rain?
I think that ruled, and thank you for giving me a little space here. I am currently, as they are talking, enjoying a hearty turkey dinner, so that'll be fun. So awesome. Thanks for having me. And enjoy the rest of your podcast and watch Sympathy Hunt.
All right.
Take care, Fresno, and remember to check your DMs.
Oh God.
Yeah, check the DMs. Right. Because the explanation might have been there 4 fucking years ago.
Take it away, us.
Thank you, past Sean, past Kuchiri, and past Fresno. That's weird.
Man, that Kuchiri guy speaks a lot. Yeah, he needs to shut up sometime.
And that Sean should probably talk a bit more.
That could have gone so awkward. Thank you. I'm also here. So next time, the well.
Well.
Don't know too much about this.
It's supposed to be a spooky one.
Oh, it's a spooky one. I mean, did you see all that darkness that was on the screen? I could barely see anything. And there is something I could say about this, but I'm not going to spoil it because I don't think that's fair.
Okay. The next time trailer doesn't reveal much other than we have a bunch of soldiers and there's something.
Yeah, there's
a body found.
They're almost certainly mostly all going to die.
Of course they're going to die. They're all wearing
almost
red.
Certainly. They're wearing black.
I mean, it's more blue.
It's not red.
I mean, they're all like 2 weeks from retirement, and they're about to go on a fishing trip with their children. So And
I think I know who the villain is being played by in this episode. But again, I will not spoil it. But there's an actor that I know is going to be a villain in the series, and this will be a good episode for them to show up in.
I mean, and they're getting all of Gatwa's important aspects.
The plot is very strong with this one.
Okay, it's more like blue. You're right.
Personally, I thought the dress was gold.
I see nothing wrong with that picture.
But before you yell at Sean, can you tell us where you can find us lovely people?
I just yelled at him too late.
Also of note about this episode, this is the first one of the season with a writer who isn't RTD.
Who is the writer?
It's a co-written with RTD and Shamara Angel Wallfall.
Okay.
Oh. Are they a first-timer?
For Doctor Who, yes. They've done some stuff like Hollyoaks, Sparks, and Dreamland.
That's quite varied. You wouldn't have done.
We shall see how this goes then.
Yeah, I'm all for different voices coming in and contributing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not so much for RTD basically saying he wasn't going to hire any young writers this year, but
yeah. On the other hand, the episode after this is the guy who did Kerblam, so help yourselves out, people.
Yeah, thankfully you will not have to watch that one if you don't want to, because you're not the guest for that week.
Yep. I am unfortunately going to be guessing on a later episode after the season is done.
Yeah, can I just point out, I never actually gave this the green light. This was sort of decided without my knowledge.
Sean, you're on. You good?
What?
Sean's on.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
Sean's on?
Yes.
Oh, for that episode?
Yeah.
Yes.
No, I don't mean
It's
I wasn't greenlighting Sean being in the episode. I meant I haven't greenlit the episode that we're going to be talking about. But it's just sort of become a thing.
I greenlit it. I just
you
greenlit it. It's good.
I thought a friend of ours greenlit it without my knowledge. But
no, see, as your designated future wife, I can greenlit stuff for you. So I greenlit it.
You can?
Yes.
I wasn't aware of this fact, but thank you, honey.
You're welcome.
Must be a difficult experience living in Texas.
I mean, for me, yes. For him, no.
Again.
I mean, if you lived in Texas, you wouldn't have to drove that far to see Sailor Moon.
I know. Well, I guess it depends on where I lived in Texas.
Yeah, that's at least 3 different states as one.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a big state.
Anyway, as Kuchiri asked, where can you find these other people? Well, you can find us all on Blue Sky. Links below.
Please find us on Blue Sky.
It did have another influx of people this week after there was the bird site was going to be getting rid of DMs.
Please read The Tower Through the Trees by yours truly, as well as Back to the 11th Hour, which is edited by me, but written by Lena McTeer. Also, Shadow of the Gallifreyan, featuring stories by myself, Lena, and Fresno. Oh, and my work can be generally found all over the internet, most recently on The Beat, where I did a review of John Higgs's book about the history of Doctor Who, Exterminate, Regenerate, which is an extremely interesting book.
And maybe I should save this for when Fresno gets back, either next week or the following week after that. No, I think they are here for the well, but they're not here for Lucky Day.
So they also get to skip the Kerblam guy.
Or is it the other way around? They're not here for the well, but they are. Anyway, yeah, Shadow of the Gallifreyan. I have now read it.
Oh, what'd you think of my story?
Really good.
Huh.
I kind of had a feeling that somebody would do the Land of Fiction, and I'm glad it was you.
Yep, I just did I have no idea what I'm doing, so fuck it. I'm gonna shitpost.
Yeah. As I've said before, if I hadn't been dealing with a lot of things that year, I probably would have submitted. But if there's ever a volume 2, I have ideas for that. Also, Lena's story is unashamedly Lena's story. It's got werewolves in it. Spoilers.
Of course.
Yeah.
And you're going to wait till Fresno returns to talk about Fresno's story.
I will do that, yes. But I have read them both now. And again, you can... Knowing Fresno as well as I do, I'm not surprised he picked these particular episodes to inspire them. Because we know that they've got a soft spot for Creature from the Pit and also Kes Van Androzani. Everyone loves that, so...
Yeah.
So does anyone else have anything to plug?
Kat?
I started playing Silent Hill 2 on my Twitch streams. I got super frustrated and lost because I missed that there was a door literally right next to me that needed the key that I just got. So that's fun.
Welcome to Silent Hill, especially the early ones.
No. This is the remake of Silent Hill 2.
Oh,
the one that just recently came out.
Yeah, the new one.
Yeah, I got the Neely bar key, and I was like, oh, this must surely go to the apartment. So I went to the apartment, and it's like, nope, doesn't go there.
Kuchiri, what's going on with you?
I'm going to be working on a video probably today or throughout this week. Hopefully I'll have it up soon. I've asked our friend Second for a sketch for it.
Nice.
You might want to get that up soon before we get to an episode that invalidates it, possibly.
The thing is, I don't think anything's going to invalidate it until the 2-part finale.
That's fair. I mean, I like the fact that you're backing your convictions.
Because the whole theory is a Mrs. Flug theory, and it's who she possibly is and the reason why she's the way she is.
Yeah, it's a really good theory, actually. I'm looking forward to that video going out. Not this because I helped on it, so...
I'm also helping on it, and so far it's very interesting.
Group collaboration project. Love it.
I'm not helping on it, but it sounds very interesting. I look forward to watching it. Also, Quantum Leap reviews will resume when this season is over.
please do not roll the boogeyman.
We are trying not to. There are others that we are trying not to, more so than the boogeyman.
Then, of course, the group of us still have our Kamen Rider reviews, which, I've already beaten Rainiac to the upload race this weekend.
I literally haven't. We're literally doing the podcast right now. Come on. That's not a race if I'm still in the blocks.
Shut up, Rain. Come on.
Yes, I'll edit the podcast while we're recording it. Got a great idea.
But we're halfway done with Hibiki, and I'm going to try and get a whole group of people together for Ghost, because I don't want to do it just for. I want to bring as many people into the suffering.
You are a brave man than me to tackle Ghost.
Look, I'm going to be watching 01. I'm not watching Ghosts.
Well, I'm not. I was going to ask you. I'm sorry.
Wow. Rejected live on air.
Well, no. The thing is, I've already said multiple times who's my Ghost.
Yeah, he has in fairness.
Yep.
He's not snubbing you. He's not snubbing me either. He's just picked who he's going to have.
Yeah, and I'm not coming back until Shin Kamen Rider or the one by the Butcher.
Mm-hmm.
Well, have fun with Ghosts. Good night, everyone.
Maybe there'll be Ghosts in the Well next week. Maybe. So thank you for listening to us talk about Lux and gushing about Lux. And join us next time for The Well. We have no idea what it's going to actually encompass. The best kind of episodes.
It is a well filled with mysteries.
There may well be a well in it, or there might not. The well might be in our heads the whole time.
And it's going
to also be a state of wellness.
It could.
Or perhaps a desire to find a cure for wellness.
This is why we had you on this week.
or it's just going to be about a well.
It could be.
A well is just a hole with a bunch of bricks atop it.
Or the villain is just called The Well. That would be a bit weird, but...
Say good night, Rainiac.
Yeah, good night, Rainiac. See you next time for The Well.
See you next time for the ring. I mean, the well.
The Well. The Well.
Close enough.
Good night, all.
Night.